popular book and television movie from midway through the last century told the story of the year without a Santa Claus, when the man in red decides no one believes in him anymore, so he decides to go on vacation instead of making his usual December 24th rounds. By the end of the story, Santa comes to realize he does still have a reason to make his yearly visits to children around the world and loads up his sleigh. This won't be a year without Santa, although it will be without the annual Christmas parade. The Auburn Christmas Parade as a local tradition dates back to the 1940s. It began as a Friday morning event. By the early 2000s, attendance was down and something new was needed.
Most of you don't know that the Christmas parade in downtown Auburn dates clear back to the 1940s. It was always held the day after Thanksgiving at 11 a.m. It involved one police car, some kind of another vehicle, and then a fire truck which brought Santa downtown. And it was not well attended for many years.
So in 2003, something new was planned. The parade was reimagined, and instead of a Friday morning event, it was moved to the Tuesday evening before Thanksgiving. Attendance rose to over 1,000, and Auburn had a new way to kick off the holiday season. Any group that wanted to participate was welcome, though an application had to be turned in ahead of time. There was one hard and fast rule: no Santa and Mrs. Claus on floats or marching units. There is only one Santa, and he comes at the end of the parade and exits at his chalet at the corner of 7th and Cedar.
And then in 2004, Frosty went up for the very first time. We stood on that corner right over there and we saw this building and we thought how cool it would be to have a sign like this. So we started researching it. Herman's Christmas Land in Pierceton sent people over and they measured the building. It was a year in the making, and the engineer that engineered Frosty also engineered at the time on the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, the big blue horseshoe for the Colts. He was the engineer for that.
When Frosty was first put on the wall, an engineering goof made it appear that he was making a rude gesture, showing a bird that wasn't exactly a turtle dove or French hen. That was corrected first with electrical tape, and then a re-engineering fix gave Frosty a new hand for the next year.
Santa didn't always have a chalet. He used to set up in the courthouse rotunda and greet children there. In 1970, local builder Alan Graber proposed building a separate place for Santa to greet all his young visitors. Santa's chalet was given its own home on the courthouse square, facing Cedar and 7th. Over the years, the chalet moved from time to time, but one thing was sure: when it was brought downtown, it meant it was time to plan a visit with Santa. The chalet, as all homes do, needed upkeep now and then. Various groups across the community offered their skills and time to help keep it up. Roofing, siding, and a new steel frame were added across the decades. Since 2009, Santa's Chalet has been at home in Courtyard Park.
When the parade ends and Santa arrives at the chalet, it is the signal for the winning bidder to flip the switch and turn on the lighted Frosty. This honor is usually given to a young child whose face lights up with excitement when they see Frosty go up in lights right after the countdown and the flip of the switch. In 2015, there was community-wide concern about whether Frosty would still have a home when the building on Cedar Street was bought by the James Foundation and the building was having rehabilitation work done. More than 150 calls came into City Hall wondering if Frosty the Snowman would assume his normal seasonal perch in downtown Auburn. But Downtown Auburn Business Association President Mike Littlejohn says there was never any doubt that the city's holiday tradition would live on. The building, just south of Courtyard Park in Auburn, upon which Frosty is mounted each year, changed owners earlier this year. The new owners, Rick and Vicki James, started rehab work on the building, so people wondered if the construction would get in the way of Frosty. But Littlejohn said that the Jameses have gone out of their way to make sure the shimmering snowman went up. They told me Frosty would always have a home as long as we want him there, Little John said. That's true testimony to the tradition. It's a good thing that people have been concerned. They really do like Frosty. Misplaced fingers, building construction, even a pandemic have not been enough to keep Frosty from gleaming his way into the winter holiday season in Auburn. At the end of what has been a hard year for many people, Frosty's light shines on.